Hi guys, it's Phil from Power2Cycle here. Thank you so much for your purchase of your new bike. Here's a quick instructional video of how to build your bike. Next step is to open the box and make sure you've got the tools ready. So, pedal spanner, a set of Allen keys, so normally a 4, 5 and a 6mm or maybe a 3mm Allen key as well. And then either a Stanley knife, some scissors or some side cutters to cut the banding off your box. So depending what bike you have ordered from us, there are two styles of boxes that need slightly different forms of assembly. We've got the smaller box here that you'll need to pop the front wheel in and pop the handlebars on. Some of the boxes are the larger ones where the front wheel is already fitted and it's just a matter of turning the handlebars and the seat. Next stage is, once you've cut the tape and the band, is to open up the box. Now there's a couple of things we need to remove to make it easier to get the bike out. So we've got the parts box here with the instructions, the charger and some more information. Just pop that safely out of the way, and then the next thing to remove will be the front wheel of the bike. Again, just pop this somewhere safe out of the way. Now the bikes are quite heavy, so it might be a good time to ask a friend or family member to give you a hand to lift it out of the box. Now you've got your bike out of the box, the next step is to remove all the packaging. The next step of the unboxing stage is to turn your seat round. So normally a 4mm Allen key, and if we turn it around facing the right way and then tighten it up. Now don't go too tight, because if you go too tight it might stop the dropper seat post working. So just snug enough so it doesn't move. So the next step of getting your bike built is to pop the handlebars on. So normally it's a 4 or a 5mm to get this off. First stage, get the stem faceplate off and then pop it somewhere safe. So once we've got the faceplate off, next stage is to get your handlebars and pop it into the stem. Now, specifically with the Husqvarnas, we need to be careful of these Di2 wires. We don't trap them in the stem. Now, we have started marking these with the green stickers to help them more visible for you. To tighten these properly, you want to go into an X pattern. So start on the top one and then go to the bottom corner here, and then go back up to the top and then back to the bottom, and continue till these are nice and snug and secure. So the next stage is to get your front wheel into the forks. A couple of steps before we do that. So you need to make sure you remove the protective spacers off the hub. On the front brake, there are some spacers that we'll need to remove before we put the front disc in. On this particular model, they pull out this way. On some brakes, it'll be on the inside and you'll pull it out that way. The next step is to remove the spacer off the fork axle. So if you lift it up and unclip it. Now to remove this axle, we open this lever and unscrew it. Then slide it out. The next step is to insert the front wheel. So you need to make sure the disc is on the brake side, so on the left hand side. Lift the front of the bike up and then get the brake aligned. And then what we need to do is insert our axle back in. So with the lever open, once you've threaded it in, you need to close this lever like so, so it's tight. So the next step will be to install the pedals, and there's a couple of steps that we need to do before we do this. Next stage is to make sure you've got 2 pedals. Now this is very critical. We need to make sure we're putting the right pedal into the right crank arm so we don't damage them. So on the end of the pedals stamped is a left and a right. So what we need to do is make sure that we put these on the right side of the bike. So we'll start off with the right hand pedal with the R on it. Now we're going to start by going down into your crank arm. We're going to insert it by hand to start with, and to tighten we're going to turn it clockwise and then thread it in all the way. If it feels tight, stop and start again. Once we've threaded it all the way in, we need to make sure it's tight. So with our 15mm spanner, we need to pop it onto the flats and then holding the other crank arm, turning clockwise, make sure it's tight so it doesn't come off. So the next step is installing the left hand pedal. Once again, start it off by hand to make sure that it's going in correctly. And with this one, we're turning it anti-clockwise to tighten it. Once we've got it tight into the crank arm, we take our 15mm spanner, turning anti-clockwise to tighten. So, with the pedals installed, your bike is now ready to ride. Thank you very much for your purchase from us, it's much appreciated. And if you do have any questions about the build process or the operation of the bike, please do reach out to us on power2cycle.co.uk. Thanks and enjoy your ride.